Here we go. So this is the Oregon Logging Conference loader competition right here. So we're going to call him my handler, Mr. Chad Bell. He comes up to me, I forget what day it was, and he says, "Tim, I've got a treat for you." I said, "You do?" And he said, "Yep." He said, "I have signed you up for the loader competition. You need to come over here and sign the paperwork." And I thought, oh God, really? You got to be kidding me. So nope. So we went in there, met this nice lady that had purple hair, chit-chatted with her and signed my life away and all that good stuff. So here we go. Link-belt loader. Never been on a link-belt machine ever before in my life, which the controls were the same as what, I'm normally accustomed to, excavator controls, stuff like that. We'll say this, I like the loader. I like the loader a lot. And so there's another guy involved in this right here too. I think he was kind of behind the scenes. But anyhow, his name is Brian Chips. I think he's been waiting for this video since before I ever got up there. I'm not sure if him and Chad were in cahoots with one another or what. There's no doubt though, Brian and Chad and the other guys that are in the top on this right here, they can flat freaking run this machine right here in the way it's set up now. What I'm going to do right here, there's some blocks over here that you could kind of practice on and kind of get the feel of things like that. And then I'm going to set the stage for what's going to come up here and tell about how you do it. All right, so I said the controls are the same as what I'm used to as far as the pattern, the joystick pattern. What was not the same was the grapple controls. On my John Deere, the way that they set the Deere machines, the D-Series Deere machines up, so on the D-Series machines like I run, the grapple open and close is on the right joystick. The close is on the trigger button on the front of the joystick. The open is on the button on the back of the joystick. On this link belt right here, the grapple close is on the right joystick. The grapple open is on the left joystick. Now the time right here is fixing to start as soon as I pick the boom up, and then I'll tell about this. So then the rotator on my loader on the John Deere on the D-Series machine, sure grip joysticks. The rotator left and right is on the left joystick, on the trigger button and on the back of the joystick, left and right. On this machine right here on the link belt, the grapple rotate. One way to rotate it is on one joystick, and the other way to rotate it is on the other joystick. So of course, just completely, there's nothing you can do. I mean, you just have to run the machine to get that, to kind of get your mind set where you're not having to think about it and all that stuff like that. So all this is in fun, and so I decided, just make the best of it and let's roll with it, All right, so the competition right here. The way that this works is you've got 9 blocks right here. Those 9 blocks the base blocks have to set in a circle that's on the pavement. They have a color-coded circle for the base block on each one of those. And then each one of those blocks is numbered 1 on one end, and then number 2, and then on the other end of the next one is a number 2, and then on the other end opposite from that 2 is a number 3. So you can't just throw these blocks up there. You've got to put the right block in the right color-coded circle, and then you got to match what I'm doing right there. I'm putting 2 2s together right there. Bam. All right, so there's 2 2s. If you flip it and you've got a 3 down, you're automatically out of it. You're done. And you have to do them in order too. So it is not, if you're sitting there thinking, well, I'm a loader man, I've run, whatever. You got to put them in order. So, and when they knock them down, there ain't no telling where they're going to land. So you got to really be paying attention to where they're at. So, and like I said, you got to start and put them in order from 1 all the way to number 9, the very last one over there. All right, so I got that stack done. Okay, so I'm up there, I'm thinking, that wasn't too bad. I mean, if I could just figure out the finesse part of standing these things up right there, working the buttons, that's what hurt me the worst was doing that right there, standing them up right there, trying to get my mind to say, okay, Tim, just touch just like that. That's what I needed them to do right there, like that right there, just finesse them up. But that was hard to do, sitting there fighting in my mind what I'm normally accustomed to doing, and then what this machine is set to do right here. Now the other little trick of this too, another one of the reasons I'm doing a voiceover on this, because you couldn't hear the machine running no how. There was other kind of racket and those DEF engines, you can't hear them run at all. The other part of this, if you watch the third stack over there, when I go to do it, the middle block in there, which would be between the number 1 and number 2, which it wasn't number 1 and number 2, they're cut on an angle. So you have to match those angles right there. And you talking about complicated, man. But I got them all up there, all 9 of them stacked, got them stacked in order like I was supposed to. I think I had a 6-minute time. I can't remember the fastest ones. Brian, I think Brian was in the top 2 or top 3. Brian did a fantastic job on it. And I think those times were like below 3 minutes, either below 3 minutes or just over 3 minutes. I mean, they throw down. I mean, those guys, it was obvious, they've been on these machines like this right here with that kind of controls, and that, got a good many hours on them and all that. But I had a good time. Jill and I had a really good time out there in Oregon going to this show with Rotobeck. And I mean, here we are, April the 27th. This was back in the end of February. I think February the 21st was when this was filmed. Who would have thought that in about 2 weeks after we were out there at this show doing this right here, that the world would be in the situation it is in right now, currently April the 27th. See that log right there, see it's got an angle cut on it? Of course, that's done by purpose to kind of, make you have to work for it. So then you get this other one right here, and you have to match that angle up. Now, doing what I'm doing right there, man, that was so you mind, and then you got, people, the announcers playing it up and all that mess like that too, and he's talking it up and all, and so you consider cut, and man, you gotta lay them right there perfect, or it's not gonna stay right there. I mean, and it was fun watching, everybody work through it. It took me 30 minutes just talking to Chad, talking to the announcer over there to kind of figure out and watch 2 or 3 guys to figure out, what it was supposed to do, because it wasn't just stacking blocks right there at all. But great time out there. A lot of fun. Let's see here if old Tim can get it up here. That's easy, does it, man? Knock it over. There we go. And you got to put the heel down. I come swinging around. I knew I didn't have a good time. I mean, there was no way I was going to even come close to doing real good anyhow on that. I put the heel down. In the wrong spot. So they're sitting there telling me, you got to pick it back up. You got to pick it back up. And I'm like, God, really? Come on, man. Let's not add insult to injury right here. Let's just get this thing over with. Let's just put a bullet in it and be done with it. But big time out there in Oregon. And if you ever get a chance to do that, sign up for it. And Chad, you signed me up for that again, man. I may have to stream you there, dude. So appreciate all y'all watching. I'm going to let y'all go for right now. I may come back here in a minute. We'll see y'all later, taters. So I'm going to add on a little bit of my thoughts about the actual loader. Like I said earlier in the voiceover there, it's the first time I've ever been on any link belt machine at all. And the rear entry cabs on the loaders now, like mine's a side entry cab. You could have got the rear entry cab, but you had to go with a 6-foot riser at the time. Now Deere just builds a 5-foot riser. They split, mine's a 4-foot, so now they split the difference. They went to a 5-foot rear entry. They only have a side entry on the high rise. I like the rear entry cab a lot better than mine because it's since 2000, well, 12 years, soon to be 12 years, climbing up and down the side of that machine to go in the side entry of it is, you know, it's gotten pretty old. I'm not going to lie. And there's been a few times where I slipped off the side of it back in January this year, and I believe I pulled some stuff in my left arm really, really bad, and it's still not, my arm's still not exactly right now, end of April. And then there's been a couple of times where I've got up out of the seat and I just about fell slap out of that thing. And if you fell out of it, it'd probably kill you. So I like the rear entry cab a lot because it's a good bit larger cab. So I was, the cab on the link belt was pretty dang nice. And it was quiet in there. And, you know, it's a machine that I could sit there and run all the time like that. We don't have link belt here in our area right here at all. You see some link belt machines every now and then, but I wish they were here to where we had some competition with your John Deere, your Tiger Cat, and Barco, and those guys like that. But you don't see any link belt logging stuff at all here, and even, you know, link belt construction stuff. You don't see much of it here either. But I wish things wasn't the way that they were. It's fun going to see those machines, all the new stuff and everything, but I wish things wasn't how it is right now, to where we could upgrade, you know. Me and Kevin could get something different, get Kevin a new processor, and you know, a year or so later get me a loader and do that. But boy, it's not there in logging. I mean, the profit margins are just cut so tight. Now, a lot of people ask me in the comments all the time, they say, what would y'all upgrade to? What would y'all upgrade to? And of course, our Tiger Cat stuff, as of late, we have had a lot more aggravating problems out of that stuff as of late that have not set real well with us. You know what I mean? We're having stuff with that new 830 that we shouldn't be having to deal with. You know, under 2 years old, 1.5 years old. So what will we go with? I have no idea. I don't really know. I have no idea what we would do. I know Kevin. See, we've got a Tiger Cat processor too, and Kevin likes it. He likes that 822, which we would go with a lot larger machine because we would stay with the 624 head and running it. And so the processor would probably more than likely be a Tiger Cat. Which one, I'm not sure. Probably like the 855 or something like that would probably be what we would end up going with. And it'd be whatever Kevin wanted, you know what I mean? Because he's the one going to be sitting his tail on that thing, running it all the time. And then loader, man, I have no idea. I love the excavator hydraulics. I don't want to go to a Tiger Cat loader myself. Would I stay with a Deere? I don't know. We've had a very rocky road with Deere as of late too. And there's some things about the Deere stuff that really frustrate me. So I don't know, man. We just have to cross that bridge when we got to it. But we ain't even close to that bridge. We're not even within 1,000 miles of that bridge right now. So I know there's been a lot of people wanting to see this video right here. It is what it is. And so I need to run me some jumper wires jump my joysticks on the open and close. I need to split everything off and practice up for it. That's what I need to do. But no, it was a good time. All right, so at the end of this video here, I want to recognize the top 3 that was in the loader competition. I want to read this, and y'all check out the times on these guys right here. It's crazy. So for The last 2 years in a row, Zane Bryant of Bryant Logging won first place. His time was 2 minutes and 35 seconds. Second place was Ross Cribbs of Vanwell Timber with a time of 2 minutes and 56 seconds. Third place was there's my boy Brian Chips of Green Diamond Resource Company. He had a time of 3 minutes and 9 seconds. And I think Chad was either fourth or fifth, something like that right there. Chad was right there in the top of that. So congratulations to all you guys right there. I believe it was Zane. I'm pretty sure it was Zane. I met him there at the show too. But so anyhow, appreciate all y'all watching, man, and enjoying the stuff. It's been a good time. Things have been a lot different the last few weeks. Hopefully, maybe we're on the downhill side of all this virus stuff, and we'll come on out of it. So we'll catch y'all later. Later, taters.